So you can do it this way, or you can open to that.
Okay, so what we could do is maybe get a copy of the presentation out to you later, or
sure, I'll keep on. I just where should I go again, just so I can try it again?
But you should be able, like, I'm on my phone as well. This is Leslie from Fury. You should be able to see it, because if you swipe, I think all the way to the left, it should be there, mastering your club's online presence, because I can see it.
Well, I got nothing.
If you swipe left or right all the way.
No, I got I just see my own phone.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Okay. You just phoned in, probably because she just phoned in for the phone audio, and she didn't. Did you use the app, the phone app?
Yeah, no, I tried, and then it wouldn't let me, so I went from trying the excuse me, I tried going through I tried going through 2 ways and it didn't work. I tried Zoom, and then I tried the other number, and then I ended up having to just dial in by my location.
Okay. Okay, so who is missing? Who can't log in?
Tanya Lukefeld.
Oh, Tanya, okay.
Yeah.
Tanya. Oh, that's, is it L33 or something like that? Or what's your email?
CLEUKCFELD.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm just sending it to you right now.
Okay. Sorry, everyone.
No worries.
Okay, so you can maybe just listen on your phone and then try and log in at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so Christine, if you want to go ahead, we won't keep you too late on Eastern time. So
I'm ready to go till midnight.
okay, well, I don't know if you'll. Well, anyway, we'll see how it goes.
Before I start, I was wondering if you could just quickly go around table, and if everybody could introduce themselves very quickly and tell me for their club which social channel they're on, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, and also their comfort level or knowledge level on social media, just so I can gauge very quickly how much in depth we need to go. So I had a list of people. So Kevin, do you want to do like a roll call, and then
sure.
We can each do that's probably the best way.
Let's start with Robin. Robin.
Hi, it's Robin from the Axemen. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And I would say I am above average on all of them.
Yeah, I would agree, because I did take a look at Axemen. Okay.
So I just took over Axemen about a month ago, but I also run the Knights Hockey Association. So we've grown from about 0 to about 1,200 in about 5 months. So, yep.
Very good. All right, thanks, Robin.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to Debbie.
Debbie from Calgary Hornets. For myself, we're trying to find someone to do more on the social media. So that's why I'm sitting in. So mine is probably below average, and we're kind of trying to get our foot in the door so that everything is cohesive. I have seen the Fury. I have seen other ones that are looking pretty nice. So I would say for myself, yeah, probably below average, but looking for other people that know what they're doing. But in the meantime, this is as good as it gets, put it that way.
All right, Debbie, which account are you on?
Oh, sorry, yeah, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, Mel from Rocky View.
Hello. So Rocky View has Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
You're really, really faint.
Yeah.
Can you talk into your microphone closer, or?
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, that's
Yep.
way better.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Melanie from Rocky View. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and a LinkedIn. I would say I'm above average on Facebook and Twitter, average on Instagram, not very good at LinkedIn.
Okay. Very good.
Oh, Leslie from Fury.
Yeah, hi. So I run 3 lacrosse accounts. I run Fury Lacrosse, and then I run the Girls Rock Tournament, our tournament, and then I ran the Team Alberta Bantam Girls last year. So they're all a little different. So Fury, we're on Instagram and Facebook, and I just took over that one this fall. Girls Rock, we're just on Instagram because it's just a short blast of a couple months. And then for Team Alberta, we're on Instagram and Twitter. Just more news related, updating scores for Twitter. And I'd say Facebook and Instagram, I'm above average, and Twitter, I'm probably below average.
Okay. All right.
And Tanya, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you. I'm just working on seeing you live, but
Okay.
I'm with the Knights and the Hawks, and we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I just took this over just in the last couple of months. So I'm fairly confident on Facebook, kind of fairly confident on Instagram, and not so confident on Twitter.
Okay. Got it.
I think that's it.
Okay. Is there, I thought I saw somebody labeled Martin and Mel logged in.
Mel from Rocky View. Yeah, that's her husband. And he's just on the same call. So
Okay.
that's sort of
What
2 birds with 1 stone.
Perfect. There was a Jonathan on the list of invites? No?
No, he's not in.
Okay. And there was a Josh and Charmaine. So I guess they're not in either?
No.
Okay.
No. So we'll continue.
All right, good. So hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Christine. I'm based out of Ontario, and I manage and train organizations and businesses on how to use social media to increase their online visibility. So I've been working with Mel from Whatnot to Yell and Kevin for a few years. And a couple weeks ago, we were on a conference call, we were chatting, and I offered to do a little training session for some of the clubs to help you guys, and improve your channels. But I have to say, the ones that I did check out so far, everything looks pretty good. So I think maybe it's just a little bit of tweaking. So it's something as we go along here, because we have limited time together. If something's not making sense, please stop me, and then I'll take the time to explain it further. And then let's keep some time at the end as well, so you guys can ask questions. But if a question comes up as we're going along, again, stop me and ask your question. So I have a slide deck, a few slides that I wanted to go through very quickly to kind of set the stage of why social media, because I think it's important to understand, why you need to be on social media as a sports club. And I don't think I need to go deep into some of these slides, because it's, you guys are there, so it's very self-evident that you understand the need for the club to be on social media. But essentially, the point that I want to drive here with this slide is that social media has often become the second screen for sports. So oftentimes you're watching a game like the Super Bowl in February as an example. There was just as many people on Twitter and tweeting live during the game as there was people watching. So a lot of folks are actually using social media as a way to communicate actually during the event itself. So before we go any further to talk about social media or even websites, it's important to understand what Google wants out of you. Because if you don't meet what Google wants, Google will not show your website or some of your social media posts effectively because they do not understand what you're about. So I call Google doctor, professor, and big brother. I say Google has become a doctor because we're not feeling well, and what do? We Google our symptoms and we self-diagnose ourselves, right? We've all done it. Google has become a professor because it does not matter what you need to do, whether it's bake a chocolate cake or change the oil in your lawnmower. You can Google, and basically the results will be in the hundreds of thousands, where you can have step-by-step instructions on how to bake a cake, videos, like you name it, you will find instructions on how to do just about anything on Google. And thirdly, I call Google Big Brother because Google knows everything you do. And as smart as Google is, because if you think about it, it is pretty smart, because all Google is a set of algorithms to determine, what you're looking for. So that platform has become very smart, but it's also not very smart in some ways because it's not human. So the only way Google will understand what you are searching for is by using keywords. Okay, so keywords drive everything online, whether you're searching for an Italian restaurant in Calgary, where you want to go for a trip, or how to protect yourself against coronavirus. It's all driven by keywords. So on your website, as an example, in order for people to find your website, it's important to have a lot of keywords. Some of your keywords obviously would be the towns that your clubs are in, lacrosse. I mean, there's a number of keywords, but those keywords need to be on your website repeatedly. What's also important to Google is that on your website is that you have fresh and relevant content all the time. So if you built a website for your club 10 years ago and you haven't updated it or added any content to it, Google looks at it as being stale, and you would probably rank very low in a search. Mobile sites have become really important because over 50% of searches are now done on mobile devices. As you know, there's nothing more frustrating than going to do a search on your phone and you go to a website and you can't really read what's on the website because it's not mobile friendly. And then what's also important to Google is your social media presence. So think of your website as the sales brochure for your club. So you talk about your club and all the things that you do. It's your sales brochure. Your social media is an additional way for you to talk about your club, but as people engage back with you on social media, now it's other people selling or promoting your club. So it's not just you always selling or promoting, it's other people when they engage back with you, okay? So those are some of the 4 things that are really important to Google when it comes to your online presence. Because at the end of the day, you're always looking to drive traffic back to your website. Because your website, your club's website, is basically the nucleus of your online presence, okay? So there's 5 different ways that people will find your website. The first is organic, which is essentially a Google search. So you enter some keywords, such as Italian restaurant in Calgary, and Google displays you the results. So that's organic. A direct would be you enter your club's address, www, Rocky View, Lacrosse, whatever that website address is, people come to you directly because they know your website address. Thirdly, we all see those Google ads now. It doesn't matter what you search for. At the very top, there's usually 2 or 3 different ads that come up. So those organizations have paid to be at the top of the page. Fourth is a referral. A referral essentially is, let's say you sent out an email to all the club members, and in the email you had some links back to your website. That would be a referral from the email you sent out to your website. And the 5th way that people will come to your website is through your social channels. So they saw a Facebook post, they want to know more about your club, and they come to your website. So just to give you an idea, on average, a website gets about 40% of their traffic from an organic search. And social media is 31%. So social media has become extremely important to drive that traffic to your website. And out of all the channels, Facebook is one of the highest channels to drive that traffic. Because at the end of the day, it's the channel that most of us know or use, and it's been around the longest. So a couple of stats here about why social media. Well, when you think that there's almost 2.5 billion active users on Facebook alone, you can pretty much guarantee that most of your fans, sponsors, players will be on Facebook. And believe it or not, Canadians are actually the most active nation on Facebook. We almost spend 1 hour on Facebook per day. The average is actually 56 minutes. So we spend a lot of time on Facebook. LinkedIn, Twitter, obviously significant channels, but not quite as big as far as an audience. YouTube is considered a social media channel with almost 2 billion users. So it's all about video. And Instagram is basically the one that's been growing the fastest lately at 1 billion users. And a lot of people now like Instagram because it just seems to be so much cleaner as far as the platform. You just scroll and you just see pictures. So those are the channels that are typically used by businesses or nonprofits, organizations. But at the end of the day, you need to find out or figure out where your fan is. Because there's no point in your club on being on Twitter if that's not where your fans are. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So as an example, I can guarantee you that each of your clubs needs to be on Facebook. You definitely need to be on Instagram. I know several of you mentioned you're on Twitter. I guess my question for those of you that are on Twitter, do you get a lot of engagement on Twitter from your followers?
No.
No, I think it's mostly just getting stuff out there. I don't know if we're getting it back, mostly just out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's usually what I see a lot of times too is, you know, as businesses or organizations are on all these channels. Facebook, they'll get the engagement. Instagram, they definitely get the engagement. Twitter, not so much. So it feels like you're talking to an empty room.
Yeah.
So I would rather, like, if you do have a Twitter account, take a look to see, you know what, are you getting new followers, you know, in the past 6 months? Are people actually engaging, so retweeting or liking your tweets at all? If nothing is happening, maybe you just cancel the account because obviously there's nobody there for you to engage with. I'd rather you focus on the channels that are really working for you rather than get stressed and feel like, oh, I need to post that on Twitter now. I need to do this on Twitter. So focus on the ones that really work for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I inserted this picture here that I found on the internet because I found it kind of neat that this hockey club actually, if you look at the back of the jerseys.
It's lacrosse.
Is it? Oh yeah, you're right, lacrosse, yeah. Every single one of the players' names is basically an @Don Dawson. So basically the club has taken everybody's name and added the @ symbol because as you know, on Instagram or Twitter or on Facebook, we use a lot of that to tag or mention other people or profiles. So I thought this club did an excellent job of taking social media to the next level. So if we can just go through the slide here very quickly, because it's important that you understand that there's many facets of who you're going to try and connect with on your social media. So obviously there's other clubs in your league. Should you connect with every single one of them? Absolutely. So, you know, I think all of these aspects here of the circle are part of what you need to do on social media. So connect with clubs, connect with all of your sponsors, make sure that you're following their page and engaging with their content as well if they're sharing. You know, your fans or the parents, they're a big part of this because they'll be looking at your social channels to get the news about what's going on. the associations that you're part of, very important. Not just locally, provincially, nationally, even internationally. You know what? Because you will find great content on all of these social media accounts that you can share to yours as well. Your coaches, they're an important part of this as well. You know what? I'm sure it's always a challenge to recruit coaches. So making sure that you have content and information that you share that, you know, would be of interest to coaches. So it's not just about, you know what, registration is coming in a week. You know, we're selling photos, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's about all of these pieces of the circle. You need to address every single one of them. Your local media, you know what, you want to be friends with them. You want them to cover your events or, you know, write articles about your club. So make sure they're part of your thinking when you get on social media. Your community, the town or the city that you're in, again, make sure you involve them, whether it be tagging, perhaps the City of Calgary channels when it's appropriate. I mean, there's a number of times that, you know, you can involve your community. And then the administrators. So administrators sometimes of the clubs, of the league, the organization. So this whole circle basically to me shows who you need to think about when you're posting. Okay? So what is it that you're going to do on social media? Well, there's lots. But basically, I want you to think about attracting, rewarding, and retaining. Okay? So you're going to be attracting, rewarding, and retaining sponsors, you know, recruiting new members, communicating with members and parents. You're going to be selling, obviously, and when I say sales, it could be you know, it's selling tickets to a banquet, fundraising, it could be a number of things. Photo sharing is going to be a big part of your social media strategy. Sharing photos of events, of games, of players, and sharing a little bit of a story about them. Obviously, promoting events is important. Giving feedback and also asking for feedback from your fans. And with social media, I always say you need to look to entertain and educate your audience. But you want to do so by adding value. So I see a lot of clubs, you know, post these pictures, you know, with funny sayings and so on. Those are great, but always think, am I adding value? Okay? Because if you think about your personal Facebook feed or Instagram feed, there's a lot of competition for everybody's posts. There's just so much content shared. So whenever you scroll through your Facebook page, you're always looking for something that will, like I said, educate or entertain you, provide value. So where to start? A lot of organizations, they need to think about what that social media strategy should be. So what is the purpose of being on social media? So maybe it's, you know what, a couple of questions that need to be asked at the club level, depending on where you're at with your social media. So what is the purpose of social media? Which channel you want to focus on? This one's very important. Who's going to be responsible for this? And I think most of you are volunteers. You do this, you know what, in your spare time, if there's any spare time at all. So who's going to be responsible for this? And you need to make sure that there's continuity because volunteers leave, they move away, you know, they stop playing lacrosse, whatever it may be. So you need to make sure you know who's responsible. And whoever is responsible, you need to make sure that they understand your social media policy and do they have the skills to do this. Okay? And if you don't have one yet for your club, you might want to consider putting together a short document that talks about your social media policy. And here's some of the things that I think you need to consider being part of your social media policy. So what type of content would you share as an example? All right. That person that's going to be managing your social media on behalf of your club, whether it be you or somebody else, you need to make it easy for them because, again, they're volunteers. So giving them some type of direction on the type of content that should be shared would be good. Do they have the authority to represent you in the club, as a club? right? Because you have to think about this. The person who's posting on your Facebook and Instagram are representing your club. Implementation of a policy and monitoring it, making sure that whoever's posting on your behalf is following that policy and are not posting perhaps abusive or misleading information. Is it consistent? Meaning if you're supposed to be posting once or twice a week, is that happening, or do you go 2-3 weeks without any posts? Also consider including security and privacy. You know what, this is becoming big on social media, is what are you doing to make sure your accounts are secure? So who has the passwords, right? The management of passwords and access, who has those passwords? Are you changing the passwords on a regular basis to make sure that if somebody leaves the organization, they can't come back and make some embarrassing posts, as an example? Consider, you know what, having something written about harassment and discrimination. We see a lot of that on social media, bullying and so on. So make sure that the person who's posting on your behalf understands this. Child protection is probably a big one as well. Making sure that whatever is posted does not offend anybody or put any of the children at risk. Okay. So what's involved? Obviously, after you've developed your social media presence, you want to look at sharing valuable content. You also want to connect. I see a lot of organizations and businesses, what they do is they're always posting. They just post, post, post. And if you think about it, when you're posting on social media, essentially you're selling your business or your club. And what happens when people, when they interact with you, they're always selling what they do. You kind of get tired of hearing them selling or bragging about themselves. So an important aspect of social media needs to be the social interaction or engagement piece. So you need to connect with other pages, as an example, on Facebook. Connect with other clubs, connect with local businesses, connect and engage with their content. It's extremely important. You need to listen and respond. So there's also nothing more frustrating to a follower on your Facebook page, maybe a parent who sends you a question through Facebook or makes a comment and it's never addressed, right? So you want to make sure that somebody is watching the account and responding to the messages in a timely fashion. You need to find who your social media champions are. We all hear about, you know what, social media influencers. Find who those are in your community. It could be perhaps a very specific parent who's very active on social media that, you know what, could share a lot of your posts. It could be the media, the local media. It could be a sponsor. So if you find those champions, make sure you work with them, engage with their content as well. And monitor and measure. So, you know, maybe you set yourself some goals for at the end of the year. I heard, I think it was Robin earlier mentioned that, you know what, the account has grown quite a bit over the past few months. So do you set goals on what you want to do or what you want to accomplish on social media and measure them? You know, it might not be a bad idea if you have the opportunity to do so. Any questions so far?
No, pretty clear.
All right. So I know I went through this very quickly. And basically, I wanted to spend most of the time here. We're going to address Facebook first. So I want to make sure we spend most of the time actually in the platform to really understand what you can do on Facebook. So does everybody see my Facebook and the What Not to Yell page? Yep. All right. So from what I understand, obviously it's clear everybody's got a Facebook page. If you look in the About section, so I'm going to move around here on the page. If you look on the About section, take a look at your club's page. Obviously my Facebook is a little slow. Here we go. Take a look at your Facebook page in the About section here and make sure that you filled out some very important information like the contact phone number as an example. email address to somebody at the club, website address. Make sure you have a little bit of information in the about section about the club. And if anybody has taken a look at this, Facebook some time ago added a story here, which is on the right-hand side. And it's essentially an opportunity to basically promote your club. So tell a little bit of a story about the club, maybe the history, what it is that you do, and so on. So it's an opportunity to add a little bit more information. But make sure, again, especially the contact information is filled out. Okay? If you go into the settings, top right-hand corner here where you see the settings button, if I click here, there's a whole different menu that will pop up. Okay? We're going to go through some of these menus so you can see what's the important ones anyway. So obviously you need to make sure that your page is published. If it's not, you need to publish it because otherwise nobody will fund it. Okay. I'm going to click on template and, sorry, before I move on here, let me see here. There's a couple of other sections actually in the general section that you should look at. On the visitors post, if you expand the menu, okay, there's a few things that you can select here. And one that I feel is quite important is the ability to review posts by other people on your page before they are published. So let's think this through. So let's say one angry parent or angry fan goes to your club page and writes a comment on your post that is offensive. If you have checked this off here where it says review posts by other people, their offensive comment will not appear on your page. You, as the admin of the Facebook page, will receive a message from Facebook saying somebody's left a message on your post. Go and review it and approve it if you want it to be published. So this is something basically at a club level or personal level that you have to decide if you want to allow all posts to go automatically on your page or if you want to review every single post beforehand. Okay, for most of my clients, I click on review posts because again, I want to make sure that nothing offensive appears on the page without me controlling it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. All right. The other thing that you need to look at here is the tagging ability. So you might want to give people, your fans, the ability to tag photos and videos published by your club or by your page. So it gives the opportunity for your fans to engage with some of your content by perhaps tagging themselves or tagging their child into the photo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This one here also is very important, others tagging this page. You want to allow people and other Facebook pages to tag your club page in their post. So that way you are mentioned on other people's Facebook pages. So this one's important to get a little bit more visibility outside of your fan network. Okay. And in the general section, those are really the important ones that you need to look at. If you look on the left-hand side menu, now I'm going to click on the templates and tabs on the left-hand side. And this menu basically allows me to select the order of each section on my Facebook page. So as an example, I'm always going to have home. And then here for One FTL, the first thing that's going to show up is the About section, followed by the post, photos, videos, and so on. Okay? As the admin of the page, you can decide the order. So maybe the photos are more important to you than the About section. You can simply click on that section and drag it up or down into the order that you want it to be in. So as you can see now, When people come to the What Not to Yell page, the first thing they will see is photos. Okay, so you can drag those around as you wish. Okay, any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, pretty straightforward.
All right. Page roles, if you need to assign access to the page to somebody else, this is where you would come and basically add a new person by typing their name or email address and make them or give them access to the page. This is where you always also come to delete or remove somebody's access. Next tab here is called People and Other Pages. And this is a section that's often missed by people who manage Facebook page. And here's what it does. So once you click on People and Other Pages, it's going to take you to this page here. And right now, the drop-down menu tells me that it's people who like this page. So you can see here all of the people that are following or like the What Not to Yell page, and tells you their name and the date they started following. If you ever want to know who's following your club's page, this is the area that you would come to figure that out. Okay? But the drop-down menu can also be changed to pages that like this page. So as I mentioned earlier, you should be looking at your community, your sponsors, the local businesses, other clubs. You should be following them from your business page, from your club's page, and engaging with their content. So when you come to this menu, this tells you other business pages or other club pages that follow you. Again, this is a good way to see who's following you. Okay? The last thing you can do, if somebody is harassing you, like the club as an example, you can ban them from the page. So type in the name of the page or the person and you can ban them. So when they would be looking for your club's page, they would not be able to find it and therefore not be able to leave any comments either on your page. Okay? Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. If I click on the Instagram tab, you can basically add your Instagram account details here. So if you do have an Instagram account, make sure they're added here. It just gives you the ability really to manage potential ads, Facebook ads, much easier. So if you decided to create an ad on Facebook to promote your club or an event, you could do it all from Facebook and have the ad appear on Facebook and the ad appear on Instagram. So instead of having to go to two different platforms, you could run it all from Facebook.
Is that the same with Twitter too, or is it just for Instagram that you can do this, that it feeds from Facebook to Instagram?
No, just Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram is owned by Facebook.
Oh, I see. That's why. Okay, yeah, right.
That's why you can do this.
Right.
Twitter,
okay, yeah.
Twitter, absolutely not, completely different.
Yeah, so, okay.
Now, I can see maybe where you're going with your question. Oftentimes you see people will link their Facebook with their Twitter and their LinkedIn account, Twitter account.
Yeah.
So they'll go to Facebook, post something, and it automatically goes to Twitter and it automatically goes to Instagram.
Right, yeah.
So you might be thinking, okay, I post once and all three channels are covered.
Right.
You can do that, although I would not recommend it. And here's why. Here's why. If you're posting on Facebook, I would say you should not have hashtags in your post. Because on Facebook, hashtags will actually decrease the reach of your post. They'll show it to less people if your post contains hashtags.
Okay.
Okay. Whereas on Instagram, it's all about hashtags.
Right.
Okay. So if you create a Facebook post and you do not have any hashtags and it goes directly to Instagram, now it has no hashtags. So now you have less visibility of your posts on Instagram.
Okay.
And the other thing you have to think about is on Facebook and Instagram, the limit of characters, like how much you can write on your post, is very long. You can have a very long post on Instagram or Facebook. On Twitter, it's 280 characters. So if you have a long post on Facebook and that goes out to Twitter, your post will be cut off on Twitter.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So that's why I say never link your account that way. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so under settings, those are really the things to me that are most important for you to think about and visit occasionally. Okay? After you've done the settings, you know, the about section, it's not really something you need to worry or change on a regular basis. It'll be there. So now let's look at the Facebook page and what you see here. So this is what they call the Facebook cover photo. So right now, What Not to Yell has a video inserted in here. So you can add a little video, or you can just add pictures. So you just need to move your mouse around and change that cover. Believe it or not, when you change or add a new cover, Facebook likes to show that off. So if you're looking to get your club a little bit more exposure, change the Facebook cover. Put a new photo in there. Okay? What I do also want you to look at is a lot of times Facebook pages get set up, but this little blue button here is not set up properly. A lot of times you'll see it'll say send a message or call now. So click on the blue button and go take a look to see what is set up. So as an example, for What Not to Yell, or contact you, okay, we'd say send an email as an example. You know, we'd add the address, make sure that the email goes to Melanie or to the team at What Not to Yell, and then we save it. I'm just going to exit out of here for now. So that way, when somebody lands on your Facebook page, they can quickly send you a message via email, via Facebook Messenger, and if they're on their mobile device, they can also call from that button. Okay, so you always want to make it easy for people to reach you.
I just got a question because I think someone had messaged, I had someone else that was reviewing Facebook, and they said, oh, Debbie, someone's messaged you, you know, about something. And I said, okay, I'll take care of it. Then when I looked, I forget which one it was, whether I was on my, I think I was on my laptop, and I didn't see it. And she goes, oh, you should be able to see it. Well, can you see it on your phone? And I thought, how could I see it on one but not the other? Like, she could see it. She was pointing, and I never saw the message from the person at all. So is it because I wasn't set up that way and they were? Because I never saw a message or a question from an individual.
Yeah. I would say perhaps look in the inbox. Is that where you looked, Debbie?
I don't know where I had looked. She just said, because I might have looked there, but I don't remember seeing anything. I thought, was there something not set up that I hadn't done or whatever? So, so that's why I thought I better just ask type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, typically, you know what, it would go in the inbox or the notification. That's typically where they would show up. Okay. But you know what? In my experience with social media, nothing works 100% of the time, and especially with Facebook. Yeah. So you know what? That's one of the most frustrating things with social media. Is sometimes it's not very consistent. Yeah. You see something somewhere, you don't see it on the desktop, or vice versa. So, so I don't think it's that you did wrong. It's just the nature of the platform.
So if they had a message feed, but I had set up in the back end, like you were saying, put email to contact or whatever, would it have gone there anyway? Because I don't think I've got that in the back end to put an email contact. Would that have made a difference?
If that is not set up, that's not how it would come in. No.
Okay, so that's why. Maybe she had it. Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks.
All right. Okay. So just below your Facebook cover picture, okay, you take a peek here where those three little buttons are. There's a whole new menu here that you can look at. As an example, if you want to see your page as a visitor instead of you as an admin, you can do that. Create ads, create an event, which we're going to talk about later on. So there's a number of things here that you can do. But in this little menu, one of the important things that I'd like to point out, and that needs to become part of whoever's managing the social media and what they're going to do on Facebook, is they need to like other pages. So maybe you need to follow the pages of your sponsors as an example. So I'm going to go to Rocky View Lacrosse page. So is that it, Melanie? Is that your page?
Yes, that's it.
Oh, okay. So I'm
No,
now,
that's for tips page, not ours.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
that's not it?
Just go to Rocky View Lacrosse. No silver tips. It's down the grades there. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the Rocky View page. Okay. So I'm going to go through this as if I was managing what not to yell. So let's say I want to follow Rocky View's Facebook page. If I click on these little 3 buttons, I'm going to click on like as your page. And once I open that up, now mine's going to have a long list of pages here because I manage several Facebook pages. But for yours, it should only be basically the page that you manage. But you're going to look for the page itself. But I'm going to click on what not to yell. And I'm going to click on submit. So now what not to yell is following Rockview Lacrosse Association. And it's important to do this because this is the only way that other business pages, whether it be your sponsors, other clubs, and so on, that's the only way they'll know you're following their page. Okay, so by doing the like as your page. If you click on follow here, that little button where you can follow the page, okay, you're following Rocky View Lacrosse Association from your personal profile. Do you understand the difference between the two?
Oh,
Okay. So I personally, do not need to follow Rockview Lacrosse, but that's what would happen if you do it this way. Okay. So that's why if you want to follow another page, you need to do it from here, like as your page. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would look at all your sponsors, all of your community champions, other leagues, other clubs in your league, and maybe take a few minutes when you get on Facebook and start following other pages. Consider following, if your team, or I'm sorry, if your league has put together a target list of potential sponsors in your community, go follow their page. It's good to ask for sponsorship, but as a club, as you know, you also need to give back to the sponsors. And on social media, some of the best ways to acknowledge that relationship is to follow their channels and engage with their content. Okay? So make sure you follow all the pages that you should be following. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes why that's important and how you're going to use it. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about what you see on the right-hand side?
Nope.
You can see 644 people follow or like this page. Okay? You're going to see 2 different numbers actually. 644 people like the page and 663 people follow the page. So 2 different numbers. If you just click on the follow, it's the second number. If you actually like the page, it shows up here as 644 people like this page. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so now I'm going to go back to what not to yell. Okay? And I'm going to show you why you want to follow, or what you're going to do with all the pages that you follow. So you're going to scroll a little bit down your page. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see there's lots of menus and different things that you can look at. But I want you to look for this one here where it says See Pages Feed. And you're going to click on this. And it's going to take you to a completely different page on Facebook that most of you have probably never seen before. And basically on this screen, what I see is posts made by other pages that I follow. And this is where you're going to go and engage with their content. This is where you're going to go to be social. And maybe, I don't know if I need to clarify that the difference between your personal profile and managing the page. So this is the only place that you're going to see all of the businesses or the pages that you like and their posts. Okay? So the only way you're going to see them in your personal feed is if you like it as a personal profile. But if you're following page to page, this is where you need to go. So What Not to Yell follows many, many different clubs. And if I scroll through this, I'm going to see their posts. Okay? And this is where I would come to start engaging with the club posts. All right? And when I say engaging, it can be a simple like. That's easy to do. You click on the like button. You can comment on their post or you can share it. Okay? And I want to talk for a couple minutes about the difference between the three types of engagement. So liking a post, it's easy. It's a quick click of the button and you move on. When you comment on somebody else's post, obviously it takes you a little bit longer than a simple click because now you're writing something. So that engagement type is a lot more important to Facebook than you liking just the post. So anytime you comment on somebody's post, it means a lot more to that page. So take the time, you know, if it's appropriate for you to comment on somebody else's post. The other type of engagement is a share, and that's the ultimate type of engagement that you can give somebody else or another page. Because when you share somebody else's post, you're engaging that, you're giving that page an opportunity basically to be viewed by your network or your fans. So as an example for this Calgary, Girls Hockey Calgary post here, I've liked the post, I can add my comment, I could say congratulations, blah, 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 blah. Then if I share it to the What Not to Yell page, all right, I'm going to go to What Not to Yell page. Okay, I'm going to add a little comment. All right, and I'm going to post it. Their post could potentially be viewed by What Not to Yell fans. So I've given them some great exposure. So the minute that you do that, so let's say you have 670 fans on your club's Facebook page. And you look at a post from one of your sponsors. So let's say it's a local restaurant. And they've posted something on Facebook and you take their post and you share it to your page. You've exposed that restaurant to your fans. And essentially that's what every business on Facebook wants. Okay, so engagement is good. But the minute you share somebody else's post, you are doing them the biggest favor you can on social media. So whenever you can do that, do it. Especially, you know, when it comes to other community pages or your sponsors or potential sponsors, that's the way you're going to get their attention. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to the page for What Not to Yell. And I'm just going to scroll down again because I just want to make sure you can all see where that link is. It's called See Pages Feeds. Okay, so once in a while, go take a look to see what people are posting here and engage where appropriate. Any questions? No?
No, pretty clear. Keep going.
All right, keep going. All right. So this is, you know what, engaging with other people's posts is often what's forgotten on social media. Clubs or businesses just post all the time, but they forget to engage with other people or other businesses. So be sure that you spend a few time when you can on doing just that. Really important. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're all on Facebook, I'm just going to ask, does anybody have any specific questions about how to post, what to post? Does anybody have any questions about that?
The only question I have is if you've invited your friends, can you re-invite them? Like you can see who you've invited, but if they haven't accepted the page's invitation, can you re-invite them?
Mm-hmm. So you do realize that when you do this, you're inviting your own personal friends to like the page,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
So just to make sure, I want to make sure everybody knows where that is. So by clicking on the three little dots here, menu opens up and I can invite my personal Facebook friends to follow or like a page. Okay, so you can see I have 150 friends and I have not invited any to like What Not PL page. So I'm going to invite, this is my daughter. So I'm going to send her an invite to like the page, okay? If I go back in here to answer your question, you can see here at the top, there's 3 different tabs.
Yep.
Those are the 149 that now have not been invited and 1 that's been invited. If Sarah accepts the invitation, she will basically, you know, she won't appear here anymore. Like I'll be able to tell that she likes the page.
Yeah,
so
it says
where
liked
you,
with a check mark.
Yeah. Now, if you send out an invitation to all of your friends, and out of 50, 20 of them have not liked the page, you would have to actually go to, here, invite friends.
Yeah, like that's what it says on like half of them say like it's invited, I have 100, and half of them are liked with the check mark, so they've liked the page, and then the other half are invite sent like yours is. So I'm just wondering if I can go in and, because I think I probably invited them about a year ago and I'd like to re-invite them.
So you used to be able to, this is new actually, I haven't seen this since I last checked in here. You used to be able to uncheck this and recheck it.
Oh, okay.
But now I don't see that available anymore. So it's almost like I feel like you can only invite them once and that's it.
Yep. Okay.
That's not good.
Well, then, yeah, because then they're going to sit in that invited area.
Yeah. So then the only other option then I would say is you'd almost have to make a manual list of those friends that have not accepted the invitation, and then send them a private message saying, "Hey, Brian, I sent you an invite to follow Rocky View. Can you go follow the page?"
Yeah. That's what I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions about the writing a post, adding pictures or videos to your posts, anything like that at all?
No, not for me.
Nope.
Okay. Any questions about when you're trying to add a video? Because the process is a little bit different when you're trying to add a video. Any questions about that? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. I mean, the process is a little bit different if you're adding a video, but just follow the steps of what it's asking for. They want a title for each video, so name your video something, add a short description, and then post it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. One last thing about writing a post. Okay, so I'm just gonna create a post here, a test post just for the heck of it. Just gonna add a picture. I'm just picking something off here. I'm not gonna post it, but I just want to show you. Okay, so you create your post as you normally would, but if you're looking to schedule this post in the future, you can do so by clicking on Publishing Tools. So normally, if I wanted to post this right now, I click on the blue button and post, and it would be done. But if I wanted to publish this post tomorrow or any other day, you can do it by going to the Publishing Tools. Okay, so I'm going to click on Create here at the top right-hand corner. I would write my test post, add my picture as I wish. And here where it says Share Now, if you click on the drop-down menu, you can schedule it. Pick your date and time and schedule the post.
Oh.
So if you want to, you know what, if you're looking to post a few things for the week, you could easily do it this way. Okay, but this will only allow you to schedule for Facebook. There is no such tool for Instagram.
Okay.
Okay, so Facebook allows you to schedule posts. Instagram does not. Twitter does not. And that's why next week, if you're interested, we're going to have a session to go through Hootsuite, which is a scheduling tool. So I use Hootsuite for all my clients to post their information, their posts. So with Hootsuite, you'll be able to add your Facebook page, your Instagram account, and let's say Twitter. And you can go on Hootsuite and pre-schedule all of your posts accordingly on each channel.
Oh, that's handy.
And I just want to interject on that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to change the date next week from Monday to possibly Tuesday, the 24th. I think everyone's going to be around and nobody can have a lacrosse meeting, so or a tryout. So I'm pretty sure it'll be open for everybody. But I'll send out a.
Vacations canceled.
Yeah, that's right, and all vacations are canceled. So
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, you guys are looking for things to do. We might even host another conference. So, anyway, I just wanted to interject on that.
No problem. Thanks, Kevin. So this is a way that you can pre-schedule posts just on Facebook. Okay? You can also backdate a post if you wish. You know what? I still haven't really figured out a good reason why you'd want to backdate a post, but it is there just the same.
Maybe it's an event and you got the date wrong.
It could be that. The only other thing I can think of is, you know, your boss told you to post something and you forgot it. You post it after the fact and you backdate it to prove that you did it. It's the only thing I can imagine. Okay. So that is scheduling a post for the future. Okay. Let's see here. What time is it? 9:07. You guys tell me when you want to stop, because I can go on and show you a few little different things here. You just need to tell me when you have a hard stop, and we can open it up for questions.
I'm okay to keep going. Yeah, if you want to keep going, that would be great. And are you going to focus primarily on Facebook, or are you going to go into any of the other tools?
Well, I wanted, we can move on to the other channels too. I just want to make sure we've got Facebook questions all covered.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's one of the more popular ones we need to focus on, But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know if the others want some tips on the other channels as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
So the only other thing I want to add before we move on from Facebook, okay, so I've gone back to the page's feed again. So here's the Oakville Soccer Club, okay. If I wanted to share this or comment, always make sure that on the right-hand side of the post that you see your club's logo appearing here. Because sometimes Facebook will default this to your personal profile.
Yeah.
So that would mean that if I commented on here, it would come up as my personal comment, not what not to yell comment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so always be sure, so be very careful when you're commenting or resharing that it's appearing as your club's page instead of your personal profile. Okay.
Yeah.
Any Facebook questions?
I was just curious on events.
Okay, yeah.
How to create an event. Not that I think I tried to do one. I thought, oh, forget it. I don't know if I really need that, but I was just wondering how and when would you, well, not when, but how you do that. Because I think I must have done something wrong.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. So Facebook events actually is a great way to promote any event you might have upcoming.
Right.
And that could be a fundraising event. It could be a registration event, maybe a photo day, anything at all. I would create an event for. And here's the benefit. When you post that you have a fundraising on March 20th, as an example, as a regular post, only your followers or your fans will see that post, unless it's shared by somebody and somebody else sees it. But typically, only people who follow the page will see that post, okay?
Good.
When you create an event, what happens is that Facebook takes your event and shows it to other people in your community with similar interests. So now you're broadening the audience of your event post, because it's not only your fans that will see it, it's outside of your fan base as well.
So when you were saying when you should look at other, let's say, sponsors or people in your community that you're following or making sure, whatever you call that, where you said you should be doing this, checking other people's posts, does that influence what you're doing? Is that like who? So how do they know that, I guess? Is it like when you say they have interest, like if I did an event, let's say for a tournament or something. So how does it, what is it pulling from other people to, that it ships your event out, I guess?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, so Facebook knows pretty much everything about you, just like Google does.
Yeah.
So when you set up your profile, some people will enter their interest, so it pulls from that. But more important, as you go through your news feed, your personal news feed, the minute you slow down or stop to look at a post, Facebook notes it, saying, oh, Debbie, I don't know who's asking the question.
Yeah, that's me.
Debbie likes, sporting events. Debbie likes trips or vacations. And Facebook is going to show you more of those types of posts because of that. So if Facebook realizes that you're looking and spending a lot of time on Facebook pages that have to do with lacrosse, if there's an event that's set up on Facebook that deals with lacrosse in your community, they'll show it to you. Okay? So just like, have you ever had that strange feeling? So I'll give you an example. Let's say you are shopping for a car and you like the Toyota Corolla. And you go on the Toyota website and you shop for the car, you pick the color, you pick the trim package, you pick everything in the car, and then you leave the Toyota website because you're not going to buy the car online. Have you ever noticed that a day or two after, you go on different websites? It could be maybe the local plumber, and on top of this page, you see your car, the color that you picked and everything. And you go, how does my local plumber know that I was looking, how does he know that I was looking at that car?
Right.
Or you go through your personal Facebook newsfeed and you're scrolling, and all of a sudden a Toyota ad pops up. Same thing applies. You go and look at vacations on, Sunwing Vacation. All of a sudden you're going to see Sunwing posts pop up. They know what you look at online and they are remarketing back to you.
Oh.
Okay. So when you see something on your newsfeed that's an ad, it's not popping up there for no reason. There's a reason behind it. You were selected to see that ad based on what you've looked at on Facebook or online, or a specific demographic because they're targeting you, maybe because you're in the 24 to 35-year-old range living in Calgary.
Okay.
There's a reason why those pop up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The best tip that I can give you tonight is if you're shopping for anything online, okay, and you go to a website and you pick a sweater or you pick a print that you want to order, put it in the shopping cart of the website, stay there for a couple minutes on the website, and then exit the website without buying the shirt or the print.
Okay.
Wait a couple of days and go to Facebook, and I can pretty much guarantee you will be given a special discount code to go buy your sweater.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay? So when I shop for something online, I never buy on the first visit to the website. I go there a couple of times so they know that I'm looking at something specific.
Yeah.
I put in the shopping cart, I leave. And pretty much every time I always get a discount code somewhere in my Facebook.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay?
Great.
So for events, anything that you want to, share, like a specific date for a fundraiser, anything at all, create an event, and it will be displayed to people outside of your fan base. And you might have seen this already when you go to your personal Facebook. Facebook will say, oh, there's 3 upcoming events in your community. And one of them will be a bake sale. One of them is a car wash. So those will get basically promoted or displayed to people in the community. So it's a great way to really promote what you're doing. And It's very easy to set up that event. You just create an event and you walk through the steps.
Okay.
Add a photo, date and time, description, just follow the steps.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what that meant by, I guess, event. What I think is an event and what someone else thinks is an event is 2 different things, right? So I thought, what are they meaning by an event? Like you say, if it's a tournament event, that's great. If it was something just for your club, then that's not what you want to do. It's more of a, or is it?
No, you might as well, like your picture day you could do, or...
Yep.
I just wasn't sure, like, that's what I thought. I thought, should I even use this page? I thought, oh, and it's one of those things you don't experiment with. I thought maybe it's not what they're looking for. Maybe as I'm doing it or setting it up, I thought, is this really worth putting on here? And I thought, and if you don't know what it is or what it really is supposed to do, you don't really do it. So I guess, like you say, it's worth a try, if nothing else, right? You got nothing to lose, I suppose.
Yep.
Okay.
The last thing I want to address with Facebook, and it also applies to all of the other social channels, but I'm going to use Facebook as an example. Let's say you have 600 fans following your page, and you posted something at 6 p.m. today. Okay? Remember that not all 600 fans will see your post. That's not how it works. Okay? Only about 2% of your fans will see your post in their news feed. So 2% of 600 is what, 12 people?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it.
So why is that?
Why is that? Well,
Yeah.
It's because think about there's 2.5 billion people on Facebook, 2 million Facebook business pages.
Yeah.
If every post that is made by a person or a business on Facebook is displayed to every single one of their followers or friends, your newsfeed would be endless.
So how does it select how, or would the same people get the same, or is it selectively just Any 2% every time.
So the Facebook algorithm decides which one of your fans will see your post, and it's based on several things.
Okay.
They look at how often you've looked at that page specifically, how often you've engaged with their post. So if you've engaged a lot with the post of that page, their next post, you will most likely see it. If you haven't engaged with them in a long time, you won't see it.
Oh, okay.
So, so when you're posting about an event, as an example, don't just post it once. Because if only 2% of your fans are going to see your post about the fundraising event on March 25th, that's not a lot of eyeballs on your post. You need to repeat the post. Okay?
Okay.
Very important. And that applies to all the social channels, but more so on Facebook than anywhere else. Okay? 2% only. Now, that 6 p.m. post that you created, immediately within the first 5-10 minutes, let's say a few people liked it or engaged with your post. Facebook goes, people are liking that post, so they're going to share with more people out of your fan base. So all of a sudden, maybe at 7 o'clock, 10 other people out of your fan base will see your post. And if there's more engagement there, Facebook will release the post to more people. And the same applies to your personal profile. You may have had a sense sometimes, let's say you're connected with 3 friends and one goes on a holiday and share their vacation pictures at 9 a.m. this morning. And friend number 2 calls you up and say, hey, Christine, did you see Mary's pictures this morning? And I go, no, I haven't seen her pictures. That's because Facebook has decided not to show me her pictures because I have not engaged with any of her posts recently.
Oh, I noticed. Okay. I noticed that once and I thought, why aren't I seeing that? So now I know. Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know what, those posts will be released to you throughout the day. So even though the vacation pictures were shared at 9 a.m. this morning, you might not see them till 6 p.m. tonight because that's when Facebook decided to show them to you because a bunch of people are engaging with them.
Oh, okay.
Facebook wants to show you things that they believe you want to see and that people are engaging with. So they think it's a popular post. The popular post gets shared, and Facebook displays those posts more often.
Okay.
Okay. So the story that I'm driving here is that you need to post often. So if you think that posting once a week to your page is enough, it simply isn't, because only 2% of your fans could potentially see that once a week post.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to post frequently, and posting the same things, the ones that are really important, post them several times. Okay?
Okay.
And then the timing of your post is also very important. Okay? Think about this. If I post something for One Not to Yell at 9 a.m. this morning, but all of the sports clubs don't go and look at their Facebook page until 8 o'clock at night when they have some free time, the 9 a.m. post from this morning will be so far down their newsfeed, they'll never see it. Because you'd have to keep scrolling and scrolling to get to 9 a.m. So posting at the right time is important, and this is how you're going to figure it out. You go to your page, you're either going to see a button here at the top where it says Insights, or it could be hidden here under the More button. So see the Insights, click on Insights. And basically this is the reporting tool for Facebook, okay? So you can change this to the last 28 days. That's as far back as they go, it's 28 page. And you can look at some of your stats here. So as an example, for the period of February 17th to March 15th, we reached 181 people. Okay, we had 67 post engagements. It tells you a little bit about your post. Okay, if you keep scrolling, it gives you details for each post. You're going to see here on the left-hand side, there's several menus. So you can go and take a peek at some of this information here. But the one that's really cool is if you click on post, you're going to get this graph here that shows you the days of the week and time. And you can tell when your fans for your club are on Facebook. So as an example for What Not to Yell, I can see that at 7 a.m., 85 of their followers are on. It goes to 96 at 10 a.m., to 101 fans at 2 o'clock, 99 at 5 p.m., and then it drops drastically as the evening goes on. So the ideal time to post for What Not to Yell would be around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's when most of the fans are on. Okay, so you need to take a look at this insight for your page and decide what time of the day is best and schedule your post for that time. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions about Facebook?
No.
All right.
Nope.
Oh, sorry. I just had a quick question. What about like Facebook advertising and choosing your demographics? Which I've tried 2 different routes. I've gone by like area, and then the last time I just went by selecting who likes or follows us and their friends.
Okay.
Just kind of wondering your insight on what you think is kind of a better way.
All right. So I would definitely pick your demographics by region, because if you only select to have the ad displayed to your followers and their friends, you're going to have a very, very limited audience. Whereas if you select by geography, then that ad's going to be displayed to the people that you've selected or the demographics that you've selected in the region. So let's say I decide to place an ad for registration for the Calgary Club. So I'm going to pick all of Calgary, and then you can choose as an example the age range, male, female. So there's several demographics you can choose from. So I would pick accordingly, and your ad could then be displayed. Actually, Facebook will tell you how many people will potentially see your ad every day based on the budget that you've allocated for the ad. And your ad will be displayed to people who do not follow you. There's really no point in paying money to Facebook to share your ad with people that already follow your page. So you want to go outside of your fan base based on your geography.
Okay. Yeah, I was only asking because on 2 of my advertisements, the first one I did by, you know, demographic and all that, and it didn't perform very well. And then the last one I did, I changed it to go after, you know, the people's friends of those that like our page.
Mm-hmm.
And it did seem to be more successful. I just thought it was odd that it was. So.
Well, it would have been more successful because now you have a much, much smaller group of people who will see your ads.
Mm-hmm.
So now it looks like your reach is going to look very good because it's a small group. Whereas if you're targeting all of Calgary, it's a large audience. So the percentage of reach will be a lot lower. So when you target friends and family, it will look very, very successful because it looks like you've hit almost 100%.
Gotcha.
So the friends and family would be good. So let's say as an example, maybe you're a store and you want to offer a special discount for all of your loyal customers and their friends and family only.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's when I would use that selection as an example. You know, friends and family discounts on Saturday morning, you know, everybody gets 10% off.
Oh, okay.
But for what you're doing, you definitely need to go like choose your region and your demographic.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Any other questions about the ad?
Nope.
Okay. Ads can be very effective. But I have to say that it's also going down in effectiveness because there are so many ads on Facebook. That's the thing. There's a lot of competition on ads, so the effectiveness of it is not as good as it was a few years ago. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so that is Facebook. So let's take a few minutes to talk about Twitter. I'm just gonna open up Twitter here. Some of you have a Twitter page for your club and you're posting, and you've shared with me earlier that there's really not much engagement on Twitter. Don't feel bad, that's across the board. So everybody will say that. I feel like I'm talking to an empty room. When I manage social media for a business, I always set them up on Twitter and I tweet for them on a daily basis, because it does have an advantage for search engine optimization for their website. So it helps Google rank their website higher in a search. For a sports club, I don't think that is as important, because if somebody searches for lacrosse club in Calgary, I have no doubt that your website will come up. It's a different story when you're looking for a restaurant in Calgary. That search engine optimization service is really important. So to me, Twitter for your sports club, I would not rank it very high as far as important. Like I said earlier, I'd rather you focus on the channels that are really important, like Facebook and Instagram, and do that very well, and maybe even drop Twitter. Okay? So with Twitter, for those of you who are on Twitter, any specific questions on how to use this? Tips? Not anything at all?
I think we, like Rocky View, we mainly use it as more of a recognition, because a lot of the older players are on Twitter more than Facebook. So at least we can tag them in a post if they've gotten a scholarship or won a championship, that kind of thing. That's really all we really acknowledge it for.
Okay. All right. I mean, it certainly has its purpose. There's no question. But if you're looking to engage with people, that's not where it's going to happen.
No, I think it's mostly that, like you say, even just pushing it out, like to retweet it, just if something comes from ALA or something comes from CDLA or something comes from a club with regard to something, it's really just a case of just re-pushing it out there. Like, I think, yeah, you're right. We're not really, we do it because it's simple, but I don't know if it's, I wouldn't really drop it, but I'm not really putting that high on my, high up there. But it is just, like you say, if something comes along, you just kind of push it back out again or like it or whatever, but not a case of, I throw the odd thing out there, but Mel's right. It's more of a way to go or whatever. Yeah.
So does anybody have any questions? I mean, once your profile is set up, it's quite easy. You know, you tweet out, you type your message, 280 characters maximum. Hashtags on Twitter are really important for your tweet to be found. So hashtag. And you can also mention or tag people in the tweet, right? So if you want to get somebody's attention or a business attention, it's a great way to oops. There you go. Tag them in the post. Okay, so what happens is they get a notification on their Twitter account that they've been mentioned on Twitter, and they would likely come back and look at who mentioned me and interact with your tweet. Okay, so it can be a great way to acknowledge sponsors, as an example.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else can I tell you about Twitter? Like I said, 280 characters. I find Twitter is a great source to find content. So if you're looking for something to post, you can't find a great article about lacrosse or changes to lacrosse rules, whatever, you can do a search here and usually you'll find something. Because you have to remember that on social media, you should be posting different material. So it's not just about sharing pictures and videos of the team players and your events and so on, but you need to find other content that would be of interest. So it could be an article that talks about the upcoming Olympics, as an example, in Japan, and the new sports that are being added this year. So Twitter can be a great source of content. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions at all about Twitter?
No, I guess if there's not that much value in it, then we don't need to stick on it that long.
Okay. And then the last channel is Instagram, which I have a feeling pretty much everybody's mastered. It seems to be one of the easiest channels for people to post to and engage with.
Well, I just started the CDLA Instagram account a week ago.
Okay. What a couple of things I would definitely recommend, and it's really difficult to show you everything about Instagram on a computer, which is what I'm on right now, because the Instagram desktop doesn't give you all the features, because Instagram is really designed to be done from a mobile device. Okay. So it's very limited here on what you can see on my desktop. But couple of things I do want to mention is that you need to make sure that you filled out the description of the page. Oftentimes I see accounts that don't have any description, so people have no idea what they're following. So make sure you have a description. You've added your website to your profile. Okay. And then you need to go to your Instagram app on your mobile device, and this one's really important, okay, because just like Facebook, there is a personal Instagram profile and then there's a business profile on Instagram. And you need to make sure that your club page is actually a business profile, okay? So the way you're going to do that is if you go, I don't know if you guys have your mobile device and have access to Instagram on your mobile device. But if you do, what you need to do is actually go to your Instagram account, and you're going to see on the right-hand side of your page's name, top right-hand corner, there's going to be like 3 bars on top of each other. If you click on those 3 bars, it opens up basically a settings menu. Okay, and you're going to see several things you can look at under this new menu that pops up. And the first one is called Settings. Okay, and in here, if you scroll down, okay, and you click on the menu that says Account, again, there's a lot of information here on the menu, but if you click on Account, and you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see in blue, all of the other menu items are in black, but in blue at the bottom, you might see a menu that says Switch to Business Accounts. Okay, if that's what it says, you need to click on that blue link, Switch to Business Accounts, and follow the instructions. It's literally 10 seconds to switch you from a personal profile to business account. Okay, the reason you need to do that is so that you have more visibility on Instagram as a business rather than a personal profile. And if you decided to place ads on Instagram, you cannot do ads from a personal profile. It has to be a business account. Okay.
So what if it says switch to professional account?
Same thing. So that's what I would do, is switch to the professional account. Professional or business account. Because right now it's set up as a personal profile. If your account is set up properly, it's going to say switch to personal account.
Personal account of the Hornets, or personal account of like 2 different, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So you know how on Facebook, in order to set up a business page, you have to have a personal profile first.
Okay.
Okay, it's a must. So when you log on to Facebook, you're logging on to your personal profile, and then you go to the business page or the club's page. Same thing with Instagram. When the Instagram account is initially set up, it's always set up as a personal account. Always, always. Okay?
Yeah.
So you need to go through the settings and make sure you switch it to a business or professional account.
Okay, so it just says to me after I do that, welcome Hornet Slacks 2. Now you have more tools to connect with your audience on Instagram.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And one of the benefits of switching to a professional or business account is that you can now have some insights about your followers on Instagram, because as a personal profile, you get nothing. But once you switch to a business or professional, it will tell you who your fans are when they are on Instagram, as an example. So it tells you how each post did, how many people it reached. Now you have some metrics to look at. When it's a personal account, you don't get any of that.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, interesting. Good.
So everybody needs to make sure that their account on Instagram is an actual business or professional account. And you know what I will do is I'm going to send Kevin the slides that we looked at the very beginning, and I'll take a couple of screenshots of my Instagram account to show you where you need to go to look and switch over to a business account.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So what else can I tell you about Instagram? Like I said, I think you guys, it sounds like you've got that mastered. Hashtags are very important on Instagram. So, you know what? Figure out what you think your hashtags are for your club. So obviously it would be your club hashtag, your club name, hashtag Calgary. So whatever community or town or city that you're in, make sure you always use that hashtag. Hashtag lacrosse maybe. So you need to figure out what your hashtags are and use them on every post. Now, on Instagram, you can add up to, I believe, 30 hashtags. If any of you feel like me, you might think that 30 hashtags, when you look at a post with that many hashtags, it just seems like it's too much. In fact, the sweet spot for the number of hashtags on a post is around 6 or 7. If you use less than 6 or 7 hashtags, or you use more, your post is not as seen as by as many people. So stick to 5, 6, 7 hashtags to get the best visibility.
Okay.
Okay. With Instagram, just like Facebook, you can add emoticons, you know, those little smiley faces and little, you know, people and so on. Those also help you with your visibility, so use them when appropriate.
What's the blue button? If I'm on here, it says promote with a blue, what is that?
Yeah, so that's the exact same thing as a Facebook ad.
Oh, okay.
So you can promote, you can have a post on Instagram. So let's say it's registration for the club, you can actually promote it. So you go through the setup to promote that post so more people see it outside of your followers.
Now, would that I never noticed that before. Is that just because I switched over to business?
Yep.
Okay, because I don't remember seeing that little box before. I thought, oh, that's like it's new.
Yeah. No, as a personal profile, you can't do ads. You can't promote a post.
Okay, that helps. Okay. Okay, this is a dumb question. But how do you, because I even tried this personally, not that I'm on here, but sometimes not as effectively, obviously. But how do you do multiple pictures on Instagram? I know it sounds like a really dumb question, but nonetheless, I'm asking it. How do you do multiple pictures that show up?
Yeah, not a dumb question at all. Is, you know, when you go to insert your picture, I'm assuming that you're doing it from your mobile device.
Yeah.
You just click on the pictures that you want uploaded.
Well, mine only lets me select one when it's Instagram. If I do Facebook, it lets me do a mirage of them. But when I want to send it through Instagram, it only lets me do one, and then the icon disappears. So it doesn't let me hit any more. But if I want to, it's like, okay, I click off a couple of pictures. If I do one, I do Instagram. If I do more than one, Instagram disappears, and I can do Facebook or Twitter, but I can't do Instagram anymore.
Well, that is very strange. What type of device are you using?
Well,
But no, I think, don't you have to, once you click the plus sign at the bottom and then your pictures show up, like in the bottom right-hand corner of your main picture, there's the little like collage button. And then there's right to the right of it, there's like the multiple button. It like looks like a deck of cards, one on top of each other. You have to click that first, and then it allows you to select multiple pictures.
Okay, so I'm now in the dark. I gotta turn on the light. Goodness. Okay, so if I go to my pictures, sorry.
If you click on add, right, like you want to add a post with a plus sign in the bottom middle of your screen, and then all your pictures come up. And then there's one big picture, and in the bottom right-hand corner of that big picture, there's a square that's kind of divided into 3. And then beside it to the right, looks like pictures on top of each other. If you press that, and then it changes the pictures below, and then you can click a whole bunch, and it'll say what order you want them in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can change that as well.
Okay. I guess I was going the other way. Okay, so I gotta go there and then go for it. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only way I know how to do it.
Yeah, no, I guess I was going to where my pictures are and going that route and you know what I mean? I thought, how come I can only do one at a time and I didn't go this route? Okay, that's good. Okay, I will play around with that.
Yep. And you have to remember too that depending on the type of mobile device, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, or sometimes the apps are different.
Okay, so look around a little bit. Okay, so that kind of helps me. I'll play around with that because I thought I just done single photos. I'm like, I'd like to do multiple sometimes. I'm like, oh, I'll do that on Facebook. Okay, sounds good.
All right. And then the same applies on Instagram. Follow other Instagram accounts, whether it be your sponsors, community champions, local businesses, and do that engagement work as well from time to time where you scroll through your feed and like their posts.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, Instagram has not made it easy yet to reshare other people's Instagram posts.
Oh, okay.
Great.
So I don't know when or if they will ever change that. I mean, I don't know why they haven't done it yet, to be honest, to make it easy, just like it is on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. You just need the app.
You need the app, absolutely, but.
Oh. Okay.
Like an Instagram repost app.
Yeah, you have to have the Instagram repost app, and then you just click on the little buttons, 3 little buttons, and then it says copy. So you copy it, you open repost, and then it does everything else for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just a longer process to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I don't know why Instagram hasn't made it easier within their own platform to do it.
Oh.
Okay. Any other questions or comments about Instagram?
No.
I have one question, just from a I don't know, getting the word out there point of view, like running all these pages, and I mean, I deal with young women, young girls, and I don't necessarily want to see their Instagram pages, but is it a good idea to follow everyone that follows you?
No, you don't have to. There's not a specific rule, especially for like personal profiles, because like you said, you could be following a bunch of teenagers, profile, which is going to be clogging your news feed. So I would focus more on, like I said, local businesses, clubs, associations, like those would be the ones that I would follow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. So before we wrap up, I just want to share a couple of other tools with you that might make your life a little bit easier. Has anybody heard of Canva? So it's canva.com is the website.
No.
I use it on my phone.
Okay,
yep.
Yeah.
I use it all the time.
I've never used the app. I always go on desktop, but it's a great tool. You can actually use it for free. And it's a great tool to edit or create photos. And it's essentially the easy program compared to, what is it, Photoshop?
Yeah.
So this is what I use to create designs. And it makes it easy because you can create a design and you decide what you want to create. So as an example, you click on Facebook post, and it will size it properly for Facebook, because that's another annoying thing that all the social channels have not figured out yet, is that their size requirements for pictures are all different. Size is different for Twitter than it is for Instagram, than it is for Facebook. So if you want your pictures to appear properly, you have to resize them for each channel, which can be a pain in the butt. Okay? So with Canva, it allows you to decide what type of post you want to create. So I've selected Facebook as an example. And then you can upload pictures. So if you have a picture that you want to upload for an event, you can do so. You can add logos. So you can basically create your own graphics, and it's very, very easy. They also have a very large selection of photos, their own photos that you can use. So if I enter lacrosse here for my search, you're going to get a bunch of pictures that you can use.
Oh.
So you could create your own graphics using their pictures as an example. Okay? So you select the picture you're interested in using. You could even, I'm just going to use a logo here that I have handy. So you add your club's logo. You can add all kinds of elements to it. Like there's all kinds of neat things that you can do with the graphic. Okay. So when you're looking to create something a little special, Canva is a great tool to allow you to do that. And it's free. There's another really cool tool called PicMonkey. And again, it's another form of, if you want to call it like Photoshop. So you can take a photo that you have already and you can edit the photo. Okay, so as an example, here's a photo, from a wedding that I took. You can see it here on the site. It's a photo. I wanted to take out the background. So now here's the photo without the background. So you can remove backgrounds. You know what? There's all kinds of neat features on PicMonkey. As an example, you can erase wrinkles, make yourself look a couple pounds thinner. Add a mustache. There's all kinds of neat things that you can do with PicMonkey to edit your photo. Sometimes, you might take a picture of the team. Let's just say as an example, you're having a team event at a local restaurant, and you're taking a team picture, and in the background, there's a picture or a sign for Molson beer. Let's just say, okay? It might not be something that you want to post on social media because it's a kids club, and now you've got a sign of a beer in the background. Using PicMonkey, you could actually remove the beer bottle or the beer sign from the background. Okay? It's a great tool, actually, to, like I said, to edit pictures.
And then once you've edited it, then you copy it, like say, then from there, like the other one you were saying, it already sizes it for Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is. Does this do the same thing, or you have to take this photo now and do more?
No, you can completely resize it to the size you want, and you just download it, and then it's on your computer to use.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. The last tool I want to show you is Flipboard. Has anybody ever used Flipboard before?
No.
No. So I love to read, and Flipboard to me is an online news feed or online magazine. So I don't have, let me see here actually, if I go, give me a second, actually I will log on from here, Flipboard. So sign up for Flipboard, it's free. And once you've got your account set up, oh, I'm not signed in here either. Once you got your account signed up, you start following different topics of interest. You can start following different magazines. As an example, you could start following Chatelaine magazine or National Geographic. And when you go to your Flipboard account, all of the articles, let's say for, you know, from Chatelaine will appear in your Flipboard. And it's free. So a lot of times I say, why bother paying for a subscription to some of these magazines? So I can't log on right now, when it's available for free. So it could be a great way for you to follow some topics. So maybe lacrosse as an example, or, you know, sports, any topic that you're interested in, and the content comes to you. So that's how I find a lot of content for my clients, is through Flipboard. I follow probably 200 to 300 different topics, and all the content, all of the latest articles related to that topic come up in my Flipboard. I select the article and I post it. Okay. Great tools. Again, you know, if you enjoy reading or staying on top of the news, you can set up your Flipboard on your desktop, on your mobile, on the iPad. So again, you open up your Flipboard app and all the content is there to look at. Okay. And those are the tools I wanted to show you. Any questions that come to mind?
Just on something a little bit different. Like in terms, we have 9 clubs, and then the 9 clubs are under CDLA. And I'm just wondering, in terms of strategies and working together, is it really just a matter of us following each other's posts for now? I mean, is that just everybody follows everybody, or?
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. So all 9 clubs, basically, each club should make sure that they follow the 8 other clubs. And then as they go through their news feed, look for their content and engage with it and share it if it's appropriate, or comment, hey, congratulations, Rocky View, whatever it is. So follow Facebook page, the Instagram page, and engage.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you should also follow the page that you recently created, Kevin, for CDLA.
Yeah. Big ALA announcement. Exciting news. We're not starting till April 5th.
And that content that you're sharing on CDLA, then each of the clubs, you know, if it's important content or information, they should share it. They should take it from your Facebook and reshare it to their club's page. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of the clubs do share, like I share a lot of the ALAs. This is Fury. And just often even on my story, if they like, I'll screen grab their story and share it. So definitely, you know, definitely getting those important announcements out, like the April 5th kind of thing, is key.
Yeah, I just my only other frustration is that if everybody's following each other and we're all sharing the same stories, then you're going to get the same thing over and over again. Not necessarily,
Kevin. Not
but
necessarily.
Then there's that 2% factor.
Yeah,
right?
so exactly. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. There's really no oversharing from your pages because of that 2%.
Really?
That's interesting, because I think, like, when I would do something, I'm thinking, I don't want to send it again. They're going to think that blah, 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 right? Like, I mean, I really want to keep sending this sucker out, but when you only know it's 2%, differently. You know, it's kind of like I'm thinking along an email. Well, I'm not going to send it again. They already got it, right? So I think you get that mindset that, you know, only 2% is getting it. You're like, well, that's really nobody. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, don't think that you're oversharing, because you're not. The only way people will see the same post over and over again is if they actually go to your page and scroll through all your posts and say, oh, that was shared 2 weeks ago, and they're sharing it again. But
Yeah, otherwise they don't.
just in their news feed, it's not going to look like it at all.
Oh, okay. That's good to know, because I didn't realize how,
Yeah.
just knowing how it works, and I really didn't really know that. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start sharing. We do share, we'll just keep pushing that share button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's good.
All right.
Well, that's excellent. Christine, do you have some other things that you want to go through?
No, I think I'm good for now.
I think 2 hours is about the limit for lacrosse meetings. So we'll maybe give your voice a break. And I just want to thank you for putting this on.
You're welcome.
It was very informative. And, you know, I just want to say to everybody that, you know, like I know that most of you know me as the executive director, but I'm also involved with Whatnot TL on the side. And I've been going to a couple of conferences, you know, the Coaching Association of Canada and Sport for Life conference. And at both conferences, people have come up to us and said, oh, you know, thank you for what you guys do. You guys are just, you're so popular. It's great. I've seen you on social media and it's just been great. And I mean, we literally have 2 customers. You know, like our social media presence is much bigger than what we are. And so a lot of the strategies that Christine is talking about are obviously very useful. And we should build on that. I mean, we want to get the word out about our program, and you know, our numbers are down slightly, not too bad, but slightly this year. And so I think we've got to keep it going. So, you know,
It's kind of like everyone going to everybody's camps where you say, oh, this is a Rocky View camp. It's not the case of where you're going. We just want people to go and learn lacrosse, even if it's not your
club.
They push you to your community. Right? So I think having those come and try lacrosse, same sort of idea, right? You just want to get them in and then push them in the direction that they're supposed to be in, just to get a handle on it. So yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
That's all for today.
All right, Kevin. Thank you.
Okay. Well, everybody. So I'll send out a new email. I'm planning on having round 2 of this for the Hootsuite training for next Tuesday.
Same time, 6 p.m.
Same time. Yeah.
24th. Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Perfect. Thank
All right,
you. Thank you.
Christine, can you just hold on for 1 minute?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Do I have you as a...
I just left the meeting. So.
Oh, you did?
Yep. Oh, did you want to show me something? Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I guess which is are you 438 last 3?
Yep.
Okay.
0438.
This one. Okay. Are you still there?